My dear friends in the Lord, we once again thank God for gathering us as one community so that we could be renewed as Jesus' body, the living body, through His Word, through His body and blood, and through His Spirit poured into our hearts. At nagpapasalamat po tayo sa ating mga kaibigan, kababayan na sumusubaybay po, nakikiisa sa misa dito sa Kolehiyo Filipino. Makakaasa po kayo na ang inyong mga kahilingan sa panalangin ay isinasama ng community, ng sambayanan sa pang-araw-araw na misa at mga panalangin po. So this is the 5th Sunday of Lent. And next week we start the celebration of the Holy Week leading up to the Paschal Triduum. And since we have only 1 week left for the season, we are asked to really look closely at the spirit of Lent so that in the message of Pope Francis for this Lenten season, we could journey with Jesus to Jerusalem. And the readings for today are an old invitation, but I think it merits repetition. In the first reading from the prophet Jeremiah, God says that He will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah. Because the first covenant, which contained His will, or what we call His commandments, it was written on tablets of stone. And the tendency of the people of Israel was, to say, whatever the Lord says, we will do. But then, maybe at some point, especially when there were difficult moments of hunger, of crisis, of lack of water, of boredom, of impatience, they just forget the commandments. The commandments were just like heavy obligations, not a covenant relationship. Almost like an imposition. And when it is an imposition from outside, nobody feels like welcoming such an imposition. And so God said, I had to show myself their master. And even God was in a way forced to behave in a manner outside of a covenant relationship. Master. And so the Lord says, a new covenant is coming. I will place my law within them and write it upon their hearts. Not anymore on tablets of stones, not anymore on a piece of paper, but in their heart, kalooban, the heart where people think, decide, dream, the heart where decisions arise and actions arise. Unfortunately, in our contemporary time, the heart is like just the place of emotions and feelings. And then we say, don't use your heart, use your mind. But in the Jewish worldview, it is one. That's why when people tell me, "Oh, Eminence, you think with your heart and not with your mind," I say, biblical. Yeah, you think from your interiority, and that must be only one interiority. You feel, you think, you decide only from one. Because you have only one heart. You're only one person. Imagine if you're truncated. Yeah. But God says the covenant must come from that. And God will take the initiative. The transformation of the heart that will recognize you are our God because you have chosen us as your people. A relationship of mutual belonging. And even in daily life, we know this. We have many laws. But unless the laws really enter the heart, they will just be violated. They will not be fulfilled. It's a law. You should, if you're already married, be faithful to your spouse. That's a law. But unless it enters the heart, wala. Driving laws. No, don't cross this line. Wala namang nakatinging pulis eh. So it's not in the heart. It's not in the heart. We know that from daily experience. And God says, there in the heart. How do we do it? We journey with Jesus. Let us look at the heart of Jesus, which in the second reading is presented as the seat of the perfect covenant. The heart of Jesus, the seat of the perfect covenant. And from that heart flows salvation for everyone. Salvation for those hearts that still can go against God. This is an aspect of Christian life that we forget. Sometimes when we think of how we can reform ourselves, how we can be faithful, we have so many programs, no? And they are useful. No, with the psychological analysis, we have this, we have that, all of that, no? All useful. But the readings for today tell us if you want a change of heart, to which heart do you go? How can your heart be transformed? Go to another heart. Enter that heart. And let the beating of that heart teach your heart how to beat. And that heart is the heart of Jesus. In the gospel, the heart of Jesus is presented as the heart of a regular human being, just like our hearts. Of course, being connected with the Lord, with his Father, his heart was able to read the signs of the times. Some Greeks who came to worship in the Passover wanted to see him. Not just to hear him, but to see him. To see, to behold, to understand, to be one with him. And instead of Jesus saying, oh wow, they're looking for me. I am a celebrity. And before they reach me, they have to go to Philip, and then to Andrew, and then to me. Wow, this is the moment. Don't we feel that? Wow, Father, can you do that? Wow, they're looking for me. But Jesus said, when he heard that, the hour has come. The hour of transformation has come. The prophecies where people will stream towards Jerusalem is here. But it will come at a price. This transformation will happen when a grain of wheat falls to the ground and dies. But it is in that falling to the ground and dying that renewal will happen. He knew that. He knew. And he says, my heart is troubled. My heart is troubled. My soul is troubled. But what should I say? Should I say, Father, save me from this hour? But he says, but it is for this hour that I came. And so his heart said, may you be glorified, Lord. The heart of a covenant relationship with God. And even when it is troubled, even and especially when it is troubled, especially when it is fearful, it will not run away from God. It is a moment to glorify God. What the letter to the Hebrews in the second reading calls the reverence of this heart of Jesus towards God. The obedience of this heart of Jesus towards God. Even when I'm afraid, no fear is that strong to cut my relationship with you. For it is precisely why I came, to fulfill my part, my share of the covenant. Our hearts cannot attain to that level without grace. So let us turn to the heart of Jesus. Let us enter that wounded heart. And when we are afraid and tempted to say, let me take a break from the covenant relationship. Pagbigyan mo muna ako, Lord. Rest. Enter that heart. Learn from Him. Acquire His reverence. Acquire His obedience. And turn that fear into a glorification of God. Fear makes us focus on ourselves. But the covenant makes us focus on our loving God. And then the voice says, I will glorify you too. That heart. We are saved by that heart. And so, my dear brothers and sisters, kapag tayo po ay punong-puno ng takot at kung minsan siguro parang gusto munang lumayo, baka may nagtatampo pa sa Diyos, kapag hirap na tayo sa ganun at parang hindi na kaya ng puso at kalooban natin, huwag maghanap ng ibang parang diversyon o solusyon. May puso na naging tapat sa Diyos. Yan ang puso ni Jesus. Yan ang kalooban ni Jesus. At kaya nga may sugat yon ay para may mapasok tayo. Ang hindi natin kaya, hingin natin sa puso ni Jesus. Matuto tayo sa kanyang katapatan sa Ama upang sa puso niya, ang ating pusong aandap-andap ay maging tapat din sa ating Ama. This is the grace that we're asking for this fifth Sunday of Lent. May we journey with Jesus. May we enter His heart so that our hearts that already contain the law of the Lord may come to fulfillment through our loving and covenant relationship with God.